I know that for most people, even saving their first $5,000 can feel difficult. You have rent, bills, groceries, unexpected expenses, and 100 other things competing for your money every month. So when someone talks about building a $100,000 investment portfolio, it can sound completely unrealistic, like something that's only possible if you earn a huge salary. And I get it. A few years ago, I felt exactly the same way. I wasn't making a massive income, and the idea of building a six-figure portfolio seemed very far away. But over the last several years, I've spent a lot of time learning about investing, personal finance, and wealth building. I've made mistakes, I've learned some valuable lessons, and I've started seeing the results of consistently applying those lessons. One thing I've realized is that building wealth isn't about getting lucky or finding shortcuts. It's about discipline, patience, and consistency over time. So if I had to start from absolute zero today, how would I build a $100,000 investment portfolio? What would I focus on first? What investments would I make? And what steps would I take to get there? In this video, I'll walk you through exactly what I would do. First of all, before trying to build a huge investment portfolio, I'd want to build a strong financial foundation. And the first thing I'd focus on is getting out of high interest debt. Because it's very difficult to move forward financially when debt is constantly holding you back. That's why paying off debt would be one of my first priorities. The second thing I'd do is build a safety net. In other words, an emergency fund. Nothing huge at first. Just enough money to handle unexpected expenses without immediately stressing about money. Because life happens. Cars break down, bills show up, things don't always go according to plan, and if every unexpected expense becomes a crisis, building wealth becomes much harder. I know this isn't the most exciting part of the process. Most people want to jump straight into investing, but before trying to grow my money, I'd want to make sure my finances are stable. Because in my opinion, financial stability comes before financial growth. Once I had a solid financial foundation, the next thing I'd focus on would be increasing my income. Because when you are starting from zero, one of the biggest factors that determines how quickly you can build wealth is how much money you're able to earn. The more income you generate, the more money you'll have available to save, invest, and put toward your future. I'd probably start learning new skills that could help me earn extra income. Maybe that means starting a side hustle. Or maybe it's learning a skill that's valuable in today's market. Another option could be changing jobs and looking for a better career opportunity. Sometimes the fastest way to increase your income isn't working harder. It's increasing the value you bring to the market. At the same time, I try not to get distracted by every new opportunity I see online. I wouldn't chase every trend or look for a shortcut to get rich quickly. Instead, I'd focus on learning valuable skills and creating income in a way that's actually sustainable. The goal wouldn't be to get rich overnight. It would simply be to create more cash flow. Because the more money you can save and invest every month, the faster you'll be able to reach your financial goals. And that's exactly why increasing my income would be my next priority. Once I had a solid financial foundation and increased my income, the next step would be investing. At this point, I'd start putting aside a portion of my money every month. Not because I have thousands of dollars to invest, but because even small amounts matter. A lot of people think investing only makes sense once you have a lot of money. But in reality, building the habit of investing is often more important than the amount itself. Personally, I'd probably start with broad market ETFs. They're simple, diversified, and allow you to own a small piece of hundreds of companies with a single investment. To show how powerful consistency can be, let's look at a simple example. If you invested $500 every month for 40 years and earned an average annual return of 10%, your portfolio could grow to over $2.6 million. And that's exactly why starting early matters so much. It's about giving your investments enough time to grow. As my income and portfolio grow, I'd also consider other assets like real estate. Because real estate can be another powerful way to build wealth and create additional income over time. But regardless of what I invest in, I'd try to stay focused on assets that support my long-term plan. I wouldn't invest in something just because it's trending online. And I definitely wouldn't put my money into highly risky investments that I don't fully understand. Because if I can't explain how an investment makes money, I probably shouldn't be investing in it. Instead, I'd focus on investments that I believe in, understand, and can confidently hold for many years. The goal wouldn't be to make a quick profit. The goal would be to slowly build a portfolio of assets that can grow and compound over time. Because, in my opinion, successful investing isn't about finding the next big winner. It's about consistently making good decisions and giving them enough time to work. And that brings me to the final step: consistency. Because no matter how good your plan is, it won't work if you don't stick to it long enough. I think one of the biggest mistakes people make is constantly changing direction. They try something for a few months, don't see results, and move on to the next thing. But whether it's investing, building a business, or learning a new skill, real progress usually takes time. That's why discipline is so important. You have to give good decisions enough time to work. Because if you're always chasing the next opportunity, you'll never stay in one place long enough to see meaningful results. So if I had to start from zero today, I wouldn't focus on finding some secret investment or trying to get rich as quickly as possible. I'd focus on building a strong foundation, increasing my income, investing in assets I understand, and staying consistent long enough to see the results. Because the truth is that building wealth isn't easy, and it usually takes a lot longer than people expect. But I believe that if you keep making good decisions and give them enough time to work, the results will eventually follow. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.